Roll call, have a chance, Angela.
Anderson. Fetch.
Yes.
Feltus.
Yes.
Mazak.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
We have a forum, I'm guessing Paul might be a little late to baseball practice.
Okay.
Everybody up? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Verification of posting.
The agenda was posted on 4/1 at City Hall, State Bank, North Meeting, Arcadia TV and appliance on the city website.
Right. Just one item that we're gonna change, discussion on Arcadia ambulance development, we're gonna move that out to a future meeting. Make it more convenient for the ambulance.
They couldn't make
people.
it? Did they talk to you?
Wasn't for sure on his timing.
Cletus.
So we're just
Okay,
gonna move
so
it
it's
up.
okay to do that, huh?
Yeah.
I would like to be here for that, but I can.
I'm guessing we're gonna try it at the next meeting. You know,
I'm
and you could
out.
stay. You can always be here.
I can be over there.
The meeting's always open to the public, Doc.
April 10th.
Here he is.
Hey there.
Do we win?
Oh, hopefully tomorrow.
12-item agenda to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Feltus, second by Mazak. Clerk will call the roll.
Fetch.
Yes.
Feltus.
Yes.
Mazak.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yep.
Olsted.
Yes.
Anderson.
Any public comment?
Me? I have a short report on the CSI meeting, or SANS meeting
Okay.
with, what do they call it? It's CSI.
Community Impact
Canadian
Council.
Silico, okay. Basically, not much different than last time. I got this in my mouth, I shouldn't be talking. This guy gave me that.
That's his fault.
No drilling or blasting through July, so sounds like
Before July 1st.
before July 1st, but there could be some after that, like in the fall. Basically, it sounded like limited washing in 2 weeks, sand. They're basically bringing in sand from the Russell mine. They're taking the processed still, and they are
Still
let's
hauling
see.
it to like Chippewa Falls, I think.
Yeah, they haul to Chippewa. Basically, it's what, 2 train carloads, is that a day? So that takes 6 trucks to fill that, to fill so it's 4 trucks loads to fill a train car. So it's 48 trips a day, so that's 24 up and 24 back. And they don't have any expansion plans. And I did mention again about possibility of if the CSI people would contribute to our funding for like our library as well as the ambulance fund. So asking them, and I did contact Mr. Prairie himself, and he's thinking about it, and he will be at our next meeting, at the CSI meeting, and so we'll talk about it there. So, anything else you got that's any different than what I said, or they're basically static? They're just not doing any anything expansion-wise, or
So they're just processing
they're
the
just
sand.
yeah, they're processing and hauling it out and all this other.
Okay. Any other public comment? Public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on. Presentations, we have none listed for this evening. Old business approval meeting minutes from March 20th.
So moved.
2019.
Second.
Motion by Feltus, second by Mason. Comments or questions?
I believe there's a typo on the second page, first paragraph. instead of Chang, they have change. The fifth sentence down,
Yep.
I get that a lot.
Change.
spell check?
It doesn't show up.
Okay.
Can I,
Just one.
okay, I wanna go in order here, so.
Anything else?
What page was that again?
Page 2, under public hearing, 5th sentence down. 5th line down, I should say. Right after it says well number 7 project.
Oh, that's the agenda
Yep.
itself.
Anything else? Clerk will call the roll.
Right.
I apologize, I was,
Feltus
answering a
and
question.
Mazak.
Feltus, Mazak?
Yeah.
Okay. Feltus?
Yes.
Mazak?
Yes.
Wojni? Olson?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Yep. We're gonna go back to public comment, I'm guessing.
Thank you, yes, I've got a cue card if that's okay.
Yeah, of course it is.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me tonight, and Carl and I walk around the park.
Just wanna make sure you introduce yourself so everybody.
Oh, I'm Barbara Jean Stone. I live at 318 South Oak Street.
Thanks, Barbara. I know you, most of us do.
I know,
but
thank you,
then we all-
thank you. Well, I just wanted to say that Carl and I walk around the park a lot, and almost every day, and we're quite alarmed at the trees that are butchered. We've got trees that are butchered. And many look like palm trees, and we don't live in Hawaii. And so, you know about the hardwood trees, and it takes a long time for branches to grow when you hack off, you know, on the hardwood trees. And I approached Kevin about this last year, and you did nothing.
Well, I could answer your trimming thing. You want me to answer that? Ashley does that, and they hire arborists, I believe they're called, arborists to come in and professionally trim them. And the trimming that they do makes them healthy.
Not all of them.
Yes,
Kevin,
they're-
not all of them,
They're
Kevin.
professionals, and when you approached me last year about around by your house there?
No, not by the house.
Okay, well,
Or-
that was the suckers I was taking off the
Around the
trees.
parks,
Yeah.
around the parks.
Yeah, so,
And I mean,
Yeah.
if my husband was here tonight, he would verify the fact that they are being butchered. And they are very small trees, and when you have a
Mm-hmm.
hardwood tree, you don't need to butcher a hardwood tree because it takes a long time for the growth to come back again.
all I can tell you is they hire professionals to do this, it's professional.
So the city is not hiring anybody to do this.
We hire them as well, it's the same company that
That's
Ashley
right.
uses, that we use, they come in and do all the trees, correct?
Yep.
And I could definitely ask the person who, arborist to come in and.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
not a
some-
lot of people that walk around the park. You know, but
Oh,
Carl-
there's quite a few.
But Carl and I do. I mean, don't you notice the fact that there are trees that are being butchered?
I don't know if they're being butchered. The thing is that trees need to be, get rid of the suckers and the type of a branch that's too low, so if you're close to them, you're gonna get hit in the face
Right.
if you're walking on the trail.
Right.
I think, is that what you're talking
Well,
about? Or you
yes, I understand the mowers, those who mow the lawn have to get under the trees, of course. But you need to go around and walk around and see the trees. I mean, the trees are vital, you know, the trees are vital for everything. And so I just felt that I needed to come down, and thanks to Marlis, I called her and she said there's a meeting tonight, and I said, okay, I would like to come, and I'm thank you for welcoming me to the meeting tonight. And like I said, I know the mowers have to get under the trees, and I was told that the park belongs to Mr. Wanik. Am I true?
Park is a city park,
So it doesn't belong to Mr. Wanik.
Right, no.
it's a city park.
Okay. And so, but you said some of the people that trim the trees are those that you hire, and also him?
We use the same service that they do, and when they
Okay.
trim the trees around Ashley's facility,
Okay,
they come and trim our trees at the same time.
okay,
And
alrighty,
I'm guessing it's somewhat of a reduced cost, because they're trimming so many trees.
okay.
I mean, I think the way to solve this issue would be just to talk to the person that does it, or the company that does it, and say, can you be a little less aggressive? You know, I'm sure that, you know, if there's a few lower limbs that, you know, are on the fence, well, should we get them or shouldn't we? Is that gonna be
Well, you know,
suffice, or-
there's nothing that's on a fence.
No, but
It's
I'm
not-
saying,
Oh,
no,
I see.
I'm saying, you know,
On the fence,
yeah, if they
right?
look at a branch and go, should we cut that one, shouldn't we? It's not, you know, could we just ask them to be a little less aggressive?
And I
or-
see I see how they're trimmed, however, I don't know enough about tree trimming and that right next to none.
Right,
So
right.
when I see the trees and I see what's trimmed, I would take the professionals' advice over
I mean,
it.
there's,
So
you know,
I, but I admit,
When you walk down this certain area where when we have broiler days, you know, people camp there and everything. I mean, there's such little trees down there, they don't need to be trimmed. They really don't. I mean, I don't know if this guy gets wild and decides that he wants to trim everything, but that's just my concern.
Sure.
Carl and I were concerned about that, and I thought,
I gotta agree with her on that, and I never stepped in to say anything, but when we plant a tree this year or last year, let it go for a couple of years, let it get healthy.
of course,
You know, they do come in and they trim this, you know, the ones we planted last year, they're trimming the last fall already.
see, it's
And
not
I agree with her on
necessary,
that,
it's not
so.
necessary to do that.
Besides that, if they wouldn't trim them, the cost would be less,
Yes,
and we're
I
always
mean,
looking at that.
we can definitely reach out to them.
Right.
With the exact words you said, you know, let them grow a couple of years, be less aggressive, I think that's,
you know, that's all I'm here for.
no,
Yeah.
we
You know, because I
we
was-
appreciate you coming in, and like I said, I know the trees are trimmed, I know how they're trimmed, but I guess I would say that I think they're doing a decent job because I don't know anything about it, how a tree should be
Right,
trimmed.
right. But after a while, you know, they trim them so high, they look like we're in Hawaii, you know, because they're just all up so high, so.
They're trying to get coconuts to grow from.
Whatever, anyway, thank you.
There's certain kind of trees that require certain kind of trimming too. But like you
Yes.
say, if they're going at it more aggressive than they really need to,
Right.
how do we really know? It'd be nice if the arborists would come in and give us a presentation on.
Well, I
that.
think over the last 5 years, the amount of trees that we've lost up there, you know, looking back 25 years, we should have done something different. We planted less ash trees, obviously, nobody knew
Yeah.
what was gonna happen with the ash trees.
Mhm.
But, you know, we've cut out, almost 50 trees
They're over
out of
50 up there.
just the park alone. And it's sad, you know, that, you know, if we'd look back 25 years ago and had it more sporadic,
Actually, I
but.
think last year was 28, and this year was 23, so 51.
And I see a lot of the pine trees are really dead, you know, when we walk
Well,
around the
that's
park.
from the needle cast, they had a disease, and, right?
Yep, the trimming, they gotta be trimmed on the bottom so they can breathe, so they don't get mold.
Okay,
The second thing is a lot of them are too close together, you know. and
Some of the
years-
some of the
years-
pine trees are, yeah.
Years ago,
yeah.
then they planted them close together so it looked nice, but then you gotta thin them out.
In the front there, some of the pine trees are really.
Right, but the bad part is,
What do you
they
do?
planted them close together, people sponsored them, and now you thin them out, so somebody's gonna lose their tree.
Oh.
That's,
Well, that's
that's
all-
the issue.
That,
Right,
that's part of the plan though, the agriculture, whether you horticulturally or
I mean-
arboristically, yeah.
Gary always calls me when they're gonna do it, and I'll just make a point of it next time
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
that, you know, they always do it in the winter time, to,
And I think I have that guy's email. You do as
or
well.
someone
And
can,
I-
you know,
And I can just send something out asking.
I mean, I didn't mean to be offensive
No,
about
no,
this, but
no.
I was concerned.
I didn't take it that way.
So, what about I think a hackberry is really a great tree, so far.
They're putting
there's a lot of them
those
up
in.
there.
Yeah. Cause that's a
We did
very
lose a couple of them this year too,
fastidious-
though, this past year.
Do they get sick?
On the walk, yeah, I don't know, they just,
Well,
Dried
just
up
like
and died.
people, you know, we drive and die too, I guess.
Thank you very
No
much,
problem.
I appreciate it, thank you. Good night. Good night,
Night.
thank you.
We're gonna move on to 5A, water, wastewater utility update.
So just a quick update that the water and wastewater utility did hire Riley Sabota back as the new operator. He'll be starting tomorrow.
So move. Interesting. I don't think we need a motion.
Well, hired him back, what happened? Where
He resigned and just was gonna go on his own and do some lawn mowing maintenance type things.
Well, that's what he was.
He started his own business.
updates. Bill?
So, just a few things here. I believe February 25th, Mayor and I provided, or gave a was it the 25th or the 29th? 29th. 29th. The Mayor and I provided a presentation to Governor Evers and his contingent, and some other elected officials were at Berlin Cooperative, trying to persuade them to reinvest in the city the $14.6 million for the project. We did not get a verbal commitment, but I believe that we did catch some attention in regards to the history of flooding and the project overall and the magnitude of it. So we're hopeful that those conversations continue, and hopefully that will push people at the state to put some urgency to this project. I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
I think it was well attended. I mean, it was, we had people from the DNR, both U.S. Senators' offices, Congressman Kine's office, Trey Krajinski, as well as Jeff Smith from our local state offices there as well. So they kind of, the Army Corps of Engineers had 2 people down there, and the project manager, as well as, I always forget his name, I think it's her boss, or he's the division chief.
The deputy division, our deputy director of the St. Paul division, I believe Major Pat Sullivan was his name.
So it was well attended. I think we did whatever we can. Obviously it wasn't gonna come out. Even though we asked him, I asked him a couple times to commit, and he said he would commit to what? Were his words?
Commit to
Thinking about it?
Yeah, thinking about it or something. It was very political, Doc. But I think it was,
constructive.
yeah, it was constructive. It wasn't blind. There was good questions, I thought, from the people that attended.
As a result of that, I saw something in the paper about $4 million that was awarded to Arcadia. It was in the paper.
It was not a result of that, but.
I had an update on that too, so,
Okay.
not a result, so if you remember the strand presentation on the internal drainage material. So we applied to the U.S. Economic Development Administration for some grant dollars to fund the internal drainage. So this is separate from the larger levee project. But the city was, or has been awarded for approximately $4.3 million to construct, improve the current lift station and pump stations, and then to replace the McClure Street, Van Buren Street lift station, and do some storm sewer work. This will complement the larger project, but it does stand alone as an independent project. We have staff and the parties that are working on this grant will have to meet in Chicago with the U.S. Economic Development Administration to go over the grant terms and the agreement. And then as part of that, the city would then be required to match approximately $1.5 million. That's the local match. And for $1 million of those dollars, I'm currently working on a CDBG grant, and hopefully there's some materials here later on in the agenda and next council meeting's agenda to get that going. But currently in the process of that and putting that together.
So we were awarded that, actually that same day, shortly before the governor was here for $4.35 million.
Officially on Thursday.
Yeah, officially on Thursday.
So that's for the internal drainage.
Internal drainage. We get a preliminary award a few months ago.
Yeah, so we received, so I believe in November we received the initial offer or initial award on this. there's some documentation that we needed to return back to EDA. We completed that, and then it was kind of in their court for a long time. They went through partial government shutdowns. They were affected by that. A number of other grants that they had to process. I know La Crosse received about 3.3 million of the same pool. Their project is similar to ours, and they received their notice in, I believe, September of last year. I know that one other organization or municipal that has applied, and they're still waiting to hear back in regards to their award or their grant application.
So I think there was
About 8.8 or 8.7 million in the pot for our region.
which is Michigan, Illinois, Indiana,
Michigan,
Wisconsin.
Illinois, yep.
So for us to get almost half of it,
Pretty good.
pretty good for a town of 3,000 people.
Thank you.
My party gift.
Ouch.
That was Chang, C-H-A-N-G. Anything else, Bill?
So I met with, this is interesting, I met with Wisconsin DOT. So we are working to queue up Main Street from County A to the intersection for a project in 2025.
All the way through Main Street.
All the way. So it's right now they are looking at a resurface job, and we are trying to say that it needs to be reconstructed because of a number of storm sewer work, sanitary work, water main aesthetics in the downtown, railroad crossings, you know, traffic approaches, changes, particularly Green Bay Avenue intersection and the Fairfield intersection, which will continue to become more busy. So we're in the initial stages of discussion. The DOT is scoping this project right now, whether or not it should be resurfaced only, or if it needs to be larger than that. So sidewalks, you know, adding sidewalks from about I don't know, after Fairfield, about halfway down Fairfield, and then to the intersection. There's no sidewalk there. Bike lanes. Whether or not the road itself needs to be widened in certain areas, and then a big thing that the DOT is asking about is converting the current traffic pattern to what they call a two-way turn lane. So similar to what they have up on 93. And they did conduct a cost to benefit ratio on bringing that two-way turn lane from that intersection all the way down to Oak Street. And they found a cost benefit ratio of 123%. So to them it would be
They explain cost benefit, how that
yeah,
works.
so they take the number of crashes in that section compared to what it would cost to convert that from the current design over to a two-way turn lane design.
And
Just
what does that?
So it means that the cost that it would take to resurface basically, and to repaint and redirect parking patterns is a lot less, and it will save more cost compared to what has been in insurance claims and damage and health risk. So there's been a lot of.
Do we have that many accidents on that part of, from Fairfield to Oak?
No.
No, he's talking 93, 95.
93, 95 to Oak Street.
Right, but I'm just saying from that stretch.
Yeah,
Because that was always
I think most, and they said that most of the traffic accidents happen between Oak and Fairfield.
Really?
So bumpers,
Not the intersection?
That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
even agree with that one.
Well, what would be the reason?
I don't think the intersections are,
Yeah.
Well,
That's why they want to put a roundabout in.
yeah.
well,
You got a
no,
corner, you gotta be
this-
slowing down for the corner.
well, I think part
well,
of it would
this is
be,
this is,
people not paying attention.
this is not the
Or any
so
other-
we're not talking about the intersection of 95, 93. We're talking about right about halfway between the intersection and Gulf Road down to County 80. That two-way turn lane would, that
So
two-way
across from
turn,
like where Laverne Beer used to.
yeah, that two-way turn lane would start there and go to about Oak Street.
It's two-lane street.
I don't know if you'd wanna do it Oak Street coming over that hill. Wow. But that would be up for discussion, I guess.
So that's what we've been discussing, and one thing that they have asked is, you know, how will the city and or the city council feel about removing parking from Oak Street all the way down, so that they would be able to convert that over to a two-way turn lane.
All the way down, does that mean from Oak Street up to the intersection of the four-way? That's what you call down? Actually, you're going up and then you're going, yeah. Out, okay. You change that to no parking.
Yes, change that to no parking, and then you would basically have a through lane.
What? Yeah, I think
On
for
West
part of
Palm.
it wouldn't be an issue, but
Through lane
I
on
think,
East Palm.
I think that's a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you did, I could almost see from Fairfield or just up from Fairfield
To the corner?
to the corner, it's not being an issue, or as much of an issue.
I don't see many people parking on that.
There are more parking, especially when it's snowy out, it seems like they're out, out on the street. And then it really thins out that street, so it's really tough to, for traffic, I think.
Did they have any discussion about making it concrete versus asphalt?
Yeah, that's gonna be studied too. So remember, this is at the very beginning, we're still trying to scope this thing out, and I would imagine that there would be more meetings. Again, they're trying to decide at this point of whether or not there is a need to reconstruct, you know, within the right of way, or to resurface within the curb line at this point. So I am assuming that it's the desire to reconstruct at this point. Just looking at the number of improvements that will need to be taken on.
Yeah, I mean, we don't wanna have them resurface it in 5 years and then we have to go in there and start opening it up to fix stuff.
What about right now? I mean, that street is terrible. So,
We'll have to call the county, I mean, they fixed part of
and I made it worse.
Washington.
Washington?
I mean, they did put some,
Now
that's why I said fixed.
well, I know,
Patched.
and you're talking about the spur line crossing right
From
there.
library up to, up the hill, to the top of the hill.
Yeah, they would have to do some kind of temporary fix there.
There's this difference in pavement like about that, and boy, you can feel it. I'm driving over by the curb.
The plan is to blade patch it like they did on J, and then they're gonna overlay it, which,
Oh, there is a plan, though.
hang on. I don't think that's right, but if it's gonna be 2025, I don't think that's the right way to go about it, but whatever, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Okay, here. Should pen
Rowling
that.
thinks this is wrong.
You wanted to make a point with it?
Thanks.
Well, I think if they overlay it by, put an inch overlay over it, I think next spring you're gonna have the same troubles.
Yeah.
But there's just so much traffic there on J and.
It'd be nice if the traffic actually slowed down, and, on the Main Street part and acted as a speed bumps, but it doesn't.
Speaking of Fairfield, can we get signs with bigger numbers? Because the people that come up to the school and from the school cannot read what's there now. Our other alternative is put speed bumps in there to slow that down. When they come past us on the S turn, they go down to Wilson, they go 1 block and then hit the brakes. They're not slowing down. We need bigger numbers or something has to be done up there. Speed bumps or something. I've got a neighbor that's got 3 young kids, and I just don't wanna have to go out there one day
I'd
and
be
those,
more-
they
I'd
don't
be-
stop for even the kids crossing the walking path.
I was up there this afternoon, so. I mean, I know, Raleigh, this getting a little off subject right now, but, you know, you're not an advocate for speed bumps there, but maybe that's something that we have to look at doing.
Most certainly.
I mean, because I know the school has parking, you know, concerns as well. It can slow traffic down, or whatever it is, but.
Some
we should
buses
put that
slow
on.
down, some buses do not. They just cut through and they wait for the kids till they go by to let the kids go across. They're not even stopping for the kids, even the buses.
So maybe we need stop signs,
So,
So that's my update.
stop signs in hand,
So
you know?
think about that and we can add it as a future agenda item for further discussion. I don't know if you know, how you wanna go about this, but if there is a decision made by the council,
maybe
I
we
would,
should reach out to the school, see what they would like to have done up there as well. I know they have some parking issues that they wanna have taken care of on the same street, so. It's just a bad area. Yeah.
Traffic magnet up there. Yeah, it is. I catch myself going through that sometimes.
so that does it for me for updates.
It's easy, it's easy.
Well, we as a city maybe should ask the state if they could do that in concrete, cause look how well the intersection is held up,
You mean from this whole thing,
especially down here where it's swampy,
right?
you know.
Yeah, compared to the blacktop that moves every time the frost comes out. We can do that. Anything else, Bill?
No.
Public hearings, we have none listed for this evening. Item 8A, appointment of alternate board of review member to serve until April 30th, 2020. We need to do that now, or we can
Well,
put that on our
I mean,
reorganizational?
Board of review, that ordinance, I mean, you can certainly hold off if you would like, till the reorg meeting, it just needs to be done before we have board of review in May, but, Adam Slusher, left, and board of review terms are not tied to the reorganization every year, they're, you read the ordinance, but if you.
I'd rather just do it at the reorganization.
Okay.
That's one of the most fun committees to be on.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
Marlis has been on it, and Todd's been on it. You have to sit here for 2 hours and
Twiddle your thumbs.
twiddle your thumbs in case somebody comes in
Been
and
there,
asks
done
about
that.
their.
You can do that.
So it's
pretty
very
good.
interesting.
You got trained pretty well.
Item 8B, discussion and appointment of the Citizen Participation Plan Committee. Bill can give a brief on that.
So this is a requirement, for application for, CDBG grants, both the public facilities grant and the planning grant, for which, we intend to apply for a housing study. The public facilities grant would be for the storm, internal drainage, storm sewer. So the citizen participation plan, there is a draft, in your packet, and what it does is it assigns a committee to, make sure that the public is involved, in this process. So if you remember, the CDBG program is based off, our qualification is based off of low to moderate income. The plan provides requirements for notices, hearings, public hearings, providing, program information, how we file, how we assist, and then how we handle complaints. If you remember the last time we applied for, the CDBG grant for well number 7, I believe the council at that time, decided or chose to, appoint the council as that committee. I believe that, if the council wanted to do the same thing, you would be able to, because your representation on your council would meet that of the requirements.
That is what I think we should do.
In large part,
There's what, 2 hearings or 3 hearings during this application process, during the building process?
there's one hearing during the application process, and then there's one hearing during the project. In this case, we would utilize the same committee for both grant application applications, so there will be 4 total hearings. And then, if you remember back to those meetings, a large part of that discussion was in regards to receiving complaints and dealing with complaints, and in processing that. So, at that time, I believe the council had felt that this body was in the best position to receive those type of complaints. But you can appoint anybody that you want to that is a resident.
Comments? I think we leave it status quo like we've done before. So moving on to item 8C, discussion possible action to adopt the resolution to adopt the citizen participation plan, right?
You wanna,
Oh, wait, 8B, you want to
Need a
entertain a
motion?
motion to
I'll
appoint
motion.
as,
Second.
motion by Feltus, second by Fetch, to appoint the city council as the citizen participation plan
It's
committee.
hard to say.
Yeah. Clerk will call the roll.
Mezek.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yep.
Holston.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Fetch.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yep.
Motion carries, and then item 8C would be, follow the last page, the resolution 219-4, resolution to adopt the citizen participation plan, which is filled out. Entertain a motion to
So
approve.
moved.
By Polstetz, is there a second?
Second.
By Anderson.
Right.
Well, we gotta get them on the board.
I heard you say that.
Other comments or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Wojni.
Yes.
Holston.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Fetch.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yeah.
Mezek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 8D, discussion of possible approval to add 2 streetlights at Memorial Park. These would be on the easternmost side of the swimming pool
So
parking
moved.
lot.
So moved.
Motion by Fetch, is there a second?
Sure, second.
By Mazak. Comments or questions?
It's basically by the parking lot going into, by the pool, isn't it, it says here?
Correct. Ms. Colston?
Aren't there lights there?
No.
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 They are on the other side, I think they're just on the building. There's none in the parking lot.
Oh, okay.
My question is this an area, excuse me, an area where we should consider having the decorative lights?
I could ask Tim, but probably.
and the decorative lights will be more expensive.
Right.
I know right now we are,
They wouldn't have to be the same decorative we have here. We have that other option that are like along Fairfield, right? Or even if they're not decorative,
Yeah.
we'll just do the, cause this is priced as just the, not wood pole,
the composite.
the composite pole.
Well, I would like to consider something that would look nice in the park.
Okay. Do we wanna, so if we, don't, you know,
What are the rest of the lights up there?
Some are wood, some of them are decorative.
Are there LEDs?
Some of them are black,
LEDs?
I believe.
And we have
Yeah.
a joint meeting with the utility commission next Wednesday if you wanna move it.
we can have that discussion with Tim, he's gonna know the best about, the most about,
Well, no, it's a great idea, cause those are gonna be, I mean, that's a highly traveled area, you know.
Right,
park
and
there.
also, you know, LED.
I think they price everything as LEDs.
Good.
I think.
you know, and the consideration of whether or not, you know, you're looking at, you know, street lamps like this out there, or if you want something that is shorter, smaller, that's more direct on.
Cause I know there's no lights in that parking lot.
Okay, well,
The only light that comes off there is the easternmost side of the maintenance building of the pool, which is blocked by this trees along there, so you can't.
We should get the most light for, but it's a safety issue.
Yeah, so we're gonna want them a little higher. To broadcast higher, you know, farther as well.
yes, shed a significant amount of light and looks,
Right, and looks nice.
You got bunch of trees there you got.
So there is a motion and a second.
Which is
What
true.
these is it okay with?
Just trim them, there you go.
Yeah, we got it.
Kevin, can you take care of
So
that?
it's
Yeah,
deferred
yeah,
to the next meeting,
yeah.
or what?
Is it okay with the motion and second? We'll put it on
Sure.
the agenda for next week. when we meet
Sure.
with the
With
Utility,
commissioner.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Item 8E, discussion of possible approval of $287,000 note to fund the library portion of the community center
So
project.
moved.
Motion by Fetch, is there a second?
Yes, second.
By Colstead. Questions?
So we're getting.
Give a brief, I think we all know what it's.
Yeah, so we're getting to
Well,
that portion of, funding that, so we have money in the bank right now from the paid assessments, to date. And then we have the amount that is still owed by the school district, to the city. And so, those payments are over time, annually, and so we have, the bills are coming due now. We have to some way find gap financing for this, and the way I believe we have it set up is a note for which we would draw on and then pay the interest on the amount drawn, not necessarily the whole amount. So we're asking for authorization to go ahead and, approve that note so that we can get the bills paid.
So we do have the money or we don't have the
We
money?
have a portion of the money. We've got
Then you're gonna borrow.
5 years.
Yeah.
So what percentage?
Well, we had almost $200,000 in the bank, which we're spending now. When you guys approve the pay estimates from the school district, which will be under bills of general account, we're paying down that balance. That balance will be zero here in the next couple months, at which point we're still committed to, another $287,000 that we get special assessment. They pay the special assessment interest free every year by November 1st. So we would set up the payment on this note, so we'd get the payment on November 1st, we would pay the interest and principal payment to the bank. We won't draw on this note until, what is in the bank currently in that restricted account for field houses and
So we're using our money to pay the loan off, because it's tax dollars, right?
Correct. So this is when we had the 10-year, 470,000, 72,000, I think, something like that. So we had 5 of those years, which was roughly 200,000, a little over 200, maybe it was 4 years at the time when it started. We've been drawing that number out to pay for the library portion of the project. They are making that payment every year per the term. What we're doing now is that it's almost drawn down to zero, however, their payment's not gonna come until next November 1st for their next payment of year 5. We need to find gap financing, which is what it is what this is, that we've discussed, I think at length, previously. Questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fetch,
Yes.
Feltes,
Yep.
Mason.
Yes.
Woodley,
Yep.
Olson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 8E, discussion of possible approval of 200, wait.
Just-
8F, sorry.
Yeah.
Discussion of possible action to authorize mayor to sign conflict of interest waiver for Lions Club / Brother Days. Bill can kind of give a brief on this.
Yeah, so,
Pretty simple, but.
so we currently have a special events ordinance, that, limits and controls special events. With that being said, Lions Club, has expressed interest, to enter into a special events agreement, for broiler days. And, one of the representatives is, or that they would like to have represent them, as part of this negotiation and drafting of the agreement is Bruce Brogle. And Terry Madden currently represents the city, so there is a conflict of interest there. What we're asking for and they're asking for is a waiver of conflict so that we can get this done in town.
So we want this done before this year's boiler year.
They want to start working on it right away.
We have this month to work on it.
So the point is,
There's
two
a lot
at
to
the
get done
same
before
firm,
May 24.
we just need one,
It's all
There's
rolling.
one firm, person of the
I'll
firm will
motion
be
to that.
representing us, one member of the firm would be
I'll motion to
representing
that.
the Lions Club.
Second.
Motion by Wojni, second by Fetch. I think it should be pretty,
That's right.
well, Terry knows it, the ordinance and set it out, so.
As long as it's legal, huh?
Yep. Clerk will call the roll.
I can't believe an attorney.
Fetch,
Yeah.
Mortician.
Yeah.
Fetch,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Feltes.
Yes.
Mezek.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Item 9A, approval of Arcadia School District pay request number 5 for the library of $466.07.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Feltes, second by Mazak. That'll probably be the smallest one.
All of that cost is HSR and architectural.
That should be almost done, right?
That's the last one on the line here. Seems like.
Clerk will call the roll.
Feltes.
Yep.
Mezek.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yep.
Olsted.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Fetch,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 9B, approval of bills of general account, the amount of $133,071.24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Feltes, second by Mazak. Comments?
Question?
Sure.
Davy. We haven't seen him for a while.
That's because they hold them.
They hold him until.
Then they know you only aggravate me once a month,
I
Bumbies.
see. Mining reclamation fees, I mean, are we
It's a
doing a
bad,
reclamation someplace? What
well,
we-
we have, there's certain rules that we have to follow by the DNR.
Yeah,
So we have to file a report to the DNR and then we charge back CSI the amount.
So we have, so every April, we have to file a report to DNR in regards to the number of reclaimed, property or acres, that we have for all of our non-reclamation mines. So that includes Arcadia Sands, that includes the regular Nash mine too, or construction aggregate mine, and that includes Ashley. So we monitor that, and we have to report, which acres are actually being mined, which acres are reclaimed, which ones are being phased out. And then Davy conducts, the majority of those surveys, and then what we do is we charge that onto, the mine operators and owners, and then we file the report.
I had a-
yeah, thank you.
It says Mississippi Welders inspection for police department fire extinguisher. Do we only, is that in the squad or in the building, and is there only one back there?
That was one that was in the squad that needed to be inspected because it wasn't working.
Okay.
The
so-
ones that are in the building are monitored, through City Hall, and then there's one in each squad.
Okay.
Any other questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Mezek.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yep.
Olsted.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Fetch,
Yes.
Feltes.
Yep.
Motion carried. Operator licenses? Let's see.
Yeah,
There- there-
Yeah,
there's
there's
one.
one.
There's two people.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know, Francisco Caballero.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Oh my God, you're right.
Motion by Feltes, is there a second?
I looked right at him like, where is it?
Probably the last.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
I couldn't see it.
I guess that's pending background checks. Clerk will
Yep.
call the roll.
Wojni.
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Fetch,
Yes.
Feltes.
Yes.
Mezek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 11, special meeting next week at 5 o'clock, right here with the Utility Commission. And then the following meeting, Wednesday the 17th, right here at 5 o'clock as well.
When's reorg?
That would be
17th?
On the tenth?
We were gonna do the 5 o'clock meeting with the utility commission and then adjourn that and then call to order and do the reorg after.
Right after that.
So that's when we're done, huh?
Yeah. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Feltus, is there a second? Fetch, is there a second? By Anderson.
Is that Feltus or Fetch?
Fetch. Clerk will call the roll.
Holsted,
Yes.
Anderson, Fetch,
Yes.
Feltus,
Yep.
Mazak.
Yes.
Wojni.
Yes.
Stand adjourned.
Very much.